Ladies and gentlemen, we have to talk about the most insane ending I have ever seen watching football, definitely in a playoff game. Let me take you back to the Buccaneers at the Detroit Lions, the final minute-ish. Todd Bowles, I was tweeting about this nonstop. I was tweeting, I wanted to start a full-scale investigation. I needed answers. No one was talking about this. I thought I was seeing things. I thought the graphic was wrong. I thought I was tripping on acid or something. Todd Bowles decided to take his timeout, put it in his pocket, and take it back to Tampa Bay, allowed Detroit to run out the clock when he could have stopped it in a one-possession playoff game. Then he doubles down and tells us why, which we will see the press conference later in this video. But first, let me just break down the situation. Okay, so I have it on 2nd and 11. Now, this is important. A minute left. Baker Mayfield just threw an interception. Tampa Bay has a timeout. This graphic is correct, okay? So why did I stop it here? Jared Goff takes a knee. Jared Goff takes a knee with like 15 seconds on the play clock, okay? 16 seconds left on the play clock. Jared, what are you doing? So Detroit is mismanaging this, okay? So I'm watching this and I'm thinking, man, he let 15 seconds hang around. If he kneels it again, which they're going to, and if Tampa blows a timeout, we're in a sticky situation. This could get interesting. So let's see how it plays out. So we're on 3rd down now, okay? Watch the play clock. Watch everything. 3rd and 12. Goff is going to line up in the victory formation as everyone expected him to. And we'll talk about the down and the distance and the yardage and what could happen after and all that. So Goff gets lined up again. Now, there's 43 seconds, 19 on the play clock. Here we go. Victory formation. Okay, 15 seconds left on the play clock. Boom. Goff is down. All right. If it's 37 seconds, let's just call it 36 seconds. Right here, if Bowles calls a timeout, there's 36 seconds on the clock. And now Detroit has to make a decision. They can either kick a field goal to try and go up 2 scores. But here's the thing. The field goal would be about a 50-yarder. And if you miss that field goal, you give Tampa Bay the ball at midfield down 1 score. So the other option is, well, they could punt it. They could try and punt it, pin Tampa Bay back with no timeouts if Tampa blows the timeout, with no timeouts, and tell Tampa, you know what, if you can go the length of the field in 20 seconds, fine, because the punt's going to run off some time, all that stuff. But they have to make a decision. You have them backed up into a decision point. I personally think the Lions would have punted. Kicking a 50-yard field goal in this spot is kind of a wild move, unless you really trust your kicker. Because if you're going for this field goal, think about what can happen. So what could happen is you miss it, all right? So then they just get the ball at midfield. With 30-something seconds left, plenty of time. You could get it blocked. You could get your field goal blocked, potentially return for a touchdown. All of a sudden now, what are you going to do, right? If you make it, cool, 2-possession game, they all of a sudden now have to do a whole lot in 30 seconds. If you punt it, you can kind of control the variables a little bit more, be a little safer. It is hyper conservative, but you can't flat out like lose the game, right? You can't. It is the most conservative option, but it's still an option. Given the situation, I kind of think they might have punted it. Doesn't matter, because let's see what happens. Bowles decides, you know what? I've seen enough. I got a flight I need to catch. I'm ready to get back to Tampa. Let's go ahead and roll. Let's go ahead and, you know what, guys? Y'all fought hard. Good season. Playoffs. Do y'all really want to play anymore? Do y'all really want to play? Don't y'all want to get back to Chili's in Tampa before it closes? Don't y'all want to get back to the local Hooters before happy hour is over? He lets the whole thing run out. The whole play clock. This is insane. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Let's just pretend you're at the blackjack table. Okay, it's an easy way to compare this. And let's say you have a 5% chance to win the hand. Let's say you're backed up against the dealer tells you, look, you got a 5% chance to win this hand. 95% of the time, you're going to lose. Do you want me to even flip over the cards? Or do you just want to forfeit and say, you know what, I quit? Why would anyone ever do that? Why would anyone ever say, well, damn, I have a 5% chance to win? Let's go ahead and make it a 0% chance, shall we? Oh, I have a 1% chance? Who cares? Let's make it 0. The only way that Tampa Bay 100% loses the game in the spot they were in is if they don't call a timeout. So even if you believe that he would have made the field goal, even if you believe he 100% of the time makes the field goal, and then you have a 0.5% chance to tie the game or win the game or whatever, why would you not want to take the chance? Why are you even the head coach? Why are you coaching this team if you're okay with just your season ending? I couldn't believe that there wasn't. I had the game volume on full blast because I was thinking, surely someone will tell me that there is not actually a timeout, or if there is a timeout, so one of the announcers will wonder what is Todd Bowles doing? What's he doing here? Why is he just waving the white flag? Why is he forfeiting? And I did my research on Twitter. Yep, turns out there was a timeout. Now let's go to Todd Bowles' press conference, because the decision is one thing. The decision to say, you know what, whatever, let's just call it a day. I'm kind of hungry. Let's get on out of here. He doubles down. He tries to explain it. Let's go to the press conference.
They already had a field goal and lined up, and there would have been about 12 seconds left on the clock to end the ball game. We weren't going to come back from that. No sense of prolonging the obvious.
How crazy is that? Todd. Even if it's a 25-yarder, which it wasn't, I believe it was 49 yards. I believe is what it would have been. Someone double check me. 49-yard field goal. That ain't a chip shot, brother. I understand it's inside and all that, but that is certainly not a gimme. We have seen kickers miss way shorter field goals. How many times have we seen a kicker miss an extra point? We've seen that all year long. And Todd Bowles my man, just make them make the field goal. And then if they make the field goal, if you want to receive the kick and kneel it out, whatever, I get that. But to not even make them make the decision, to not even make them make the field goal, this is crazy to me. I'm not a Buccaneers fan. I have no stake in this. But how can you look your players in the eyes and say, fight until the clock hits 000. Fight until the very end. As long as we're out there, we got a chance. How can you coach a team, have any respect, when you just punt on the season? You just surrender in a one-possession game. Again, I'm not sitting here saying, well, you're only down 14. All you got to do is get the kick and score, and get the onside kick and score all within 30 seconds with no time. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you're looking at an opportunity where, let's say, worst case scenario, well, let's say they missed the field goal, but worst case scenario with the time and all that stuff, let's say you're in midfield with 15 seconds with down 8. That is not the craziest scenario in the world. I mean, imagine if the Chiefs, when they were down 13 against Buffalo a couple years ago, imagine if the Chiefs said, no point. We're down a score, 13 seconds. Man, that would take a whole lot of effort for us to try.
Our message is, obviously we're disappointed because anything short of the Super Bowl was our goal. We weren't good enough today. They fought all year. I was very proud of them. They should
fought all year, but 20 seconds in the last round, I decided, why fight anymore? Traffic gets backed up, got to clean stuff out of the locker room. Why not just get on back? I would have respected the answer much more if he would have been like, you know what, honestly, totally forgot I had a timeout. Or if he would have been like, I messed it up. I had us out of timeouts. If he would have said, actually, an alien life form went into my brain in the middle of the fourth quarter and was leaching into my frontal cortex, and it was disabling my ability to make simple decisions. The alien burrowed into my skull and was trying to drop egglets into my head. Luckily, I stopped him. Unluckily, it was during the last 2 minutes of the game, so I was a little busy. I couldn't call a timeout. If he would have said that, I would have been like, well, I mean, that is pretty far-fetched, but that at least that's a reason why he didn't call the timeout. His reason is just the most apathetic thing I've ever heard in my entire life. The fact that it's an NFL coach in the playoffs, not just the playoffs, the second round of the playoffs. This is despicable. If you're a Buccaneers fan, you have got it. There is no way you can be okay with him being your head coach. There's no way you can be okay with him making game management decisions if he's not even willing to let your team try down one score with almost 30 seconds left. I mean, I wonder if Detroit, because his thing is that they already had the field goal lined up. If Detroit said, "We'll punt," do you think he would have called it? Because they could have. If he calls it, that is a real decision. Again, what is the harm? What is the harm in, or let's pretend there's 1 second on the clock and Detroit has to attempt the field goal. Isn't it worth it to let them attempt the field goal for you to try and block it, to try and return it, if that's your line to tie the game? And that's way less likely to happen if you're forced to block the field goal and return it for a touchdown in order to then try and get a 2-point conversion to tie the game. Even if that is the situation, wouldn't you want to give your team the option to do that? I mean, the fact that there isn't a huge conversation about this with the NFL, it blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. This is one of the most, honestly, I mean, knee-jerk reaction. This was yesterday. But knee-jerk reaction, or 2 days ago by the time y'all see this video, this is probably the most mind-boggling, head-scratching decision I've ever seen a coach make. Ever. It does not get worse than this. He took, I mean, if you really did the numbers, I mean, you could just do the numbers as simple as what's the chances that he'll make the field goal. Let's say he has a 90% chance to make the field goal. I have no idea how the kicker was doing from 48 plus. I don't know off the top of my head. But if it's 90% he makes it, you have a 10% chance to get the ball at midfield with 20 seconds left. 8. I mean, it's just. I have thought about this since the game ended. And then when I saw the press conference, it just flamed up again, like GERD. Like indigestion just flamed right up. I thought I had it defeated with saltines and milk and Pepto-Bismol. I thought I had it all handled. Boom. Flames right through the esophagus. Unbelievable. I mean, seriously, the fact that this should be the #1 story on ESPN. 100%. He should be getting grilled by every beat writer in Tampa Bay. Sports Illustrated shut down a week or so ago. Sports Illustrated should have a resurgence just to study this moment, just to have issues and articles about this moment right here. This is out of control. And I feel like I'm the only person talking about it. If you are a Buccaneers fan, get down in the comments. I need to hear from you. Because if this was the Saints, if this was the team that I covered, the team I was a fan of, and we did this in the playoffs, I would go on a hunger strike outside of the stadium. I'm telling you that right now. I would be 97 pounds, sun-dried, lying on the concrete outside of the stadium. Because I would go on a hunger strike protest until someone gave me answers. So if you're a Buccaneers fan, get involved. I want to hear from you. I'm desperate to hear from you. Please get on down there. Tell me what you think about this. What do you think in real time? What are you hearing? Is Todd Bowles going to be back? Does he even care? If he gets fired, will he even know? Would he even care? Unbelievable what these coaches get away with. It's sickening for the fan base. It's sickening for the players who played a hell of a game and didn't even get a chance to finish. Didn't even get a chance to see it play out. Gutless, cowardice. I cannot believe it. Disgusting. I might not even be able to eat dinner tonight because I'm so disgusted watching this. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.